the people who were full of shit were the people who were saying that Kirk was civil. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, who called for public execution of people he disagreed with is not civil. The person who said if you are a black woman, you lack the ability to process thoughts is not civil. The person who said because I am Muslim, I cannot be in this country because I want to destroy Western society is not civil. The person who said a 10-year-old should be forced to carry the child of a rapist is not civil. I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Elon says in the speech, quote, many have called me asking, Elon, what will the U.S. do in response to this situation, meaning the situation in Somalia? Ilhan Omar replies and says, quote, the U.S. government will act according to our requests. You cannot have a government to continue to operate as a superpower if it's infiltrated by foreign powers.
I think she's terrible. I think she should be impeached. I think she's terrible. Was she originally from Somalia? So how are they doing it? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. Now, I think if she got censured, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing, and they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side, so they knew it was just. But they impeached me twice. She should be impeached, and it should happen faster. What she says is out of line. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else?
She'd like to say this to the president.
So I would continue to make that case to him to put his personal vendettas aside and to focus on the task ahead of doing the work on behalf of the American people.
Just a few days ago, a member of Congress of this body, Ilhan Omar, shared a video on her social media account about Charlie Kirk's murder, and I'll quote what it said. It said, Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck. In other words, Charlie had it coming to him. The words that he said naturally led to his assassination. I mean, that is a reprehensible thing for a member of Congress to say, to suggest, to promote in any capacity.
I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father, and in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or it happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath. What
I find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
This is somebody who came to the United States, immigrated to the United States. Her family left a Muslim country, Somalia, because of the horrendous conditions that are going on, and she comes here and hates America. She doesn't come here and appreciate what this country is about. And he said, she's not here and her family's not here to embrace freedom and to embrace Americanism. They're here to spread what he said, the evangelical-like gospel of militant Islam. That's why she's here. She represents, in effect, Hamas and these other organizations, just like CARE in this country was born of Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. and they're here within our country. Our immigration system is a disaster. In this country, we used to have an immigration system that if you hate America, you don't get into America. In fact, you need to demonstrate allegiance to America. So this is all turned upside down. So only in her mind could the United States and Israel be akin to the Taliban in Afghanistan, Hamas, and I dare say, what do those terrorist organizations do to women? They abuse them. They violate them. What do they do to gays? They kill them. And yet they're aligned with them. And that's because, as Zuhdi Jasser says, and I've been talking about, you have an alliance of this Marxist left with this jihadi or radical Islamist movement. And they're all fascistic in their own and totalitarian in their own way. Important that that these colleagues of hers, the Jews, step up to the plate and criticize the United States and Israel too, you see. Not in our country. You fled from an unjust, uncivil society that slaughters people, that rapes women, and you and your family came to the United States of America. So don't give me this crap that you know how to experience injustice in America.
I have no interest in really allowing the conversation about my personal life to continue, and so I have no desire to discuss it.
Representative Omar also declined to discuss continued accusations that at one point she married her brother for immigration purposes, an allegation that first surfaced 3 years ago and that she repeatedly has called absurd.
You seem just completely unfazed and unbowed by negative publicity or publicity about your personal life that you don't want to comment on. I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I know who I am. The people I love know who I am and what I care about. And I have, 3 beautiful little children and a family to care for. And so for me, my focus is really in doing the work that I feel like I was destined to do.
The media, of course, their response to this was twofold. The first was to act like they had no idea what he was talking about, which they probably don't, because anything that is harmful to a Democrat, they pretend like it doesn't exist, even though there's been reporting on this for years. And 2, they painted it as solely a conspiracy theory. Now, the fact that she might have married her brother is unproven, but there is a whole lot of documentation that suggests that she committed immigration fraud by having a fraudulent marriage to someone who has neither been proven or disproven to be her brother. She, of course, has denied this, but there's this whole host of reporting from David Steinberg, who is with PJ Media, talking about the fact that she was filing joint tax returns with one man while claiming to be married to another. There's court documents that show she was living with that first man while claiming to be married to another. And he released some reporting this week that walks through this case, showing that Ilhan Omar and some of her sisters all refer to this same man as their father. And then there's all of this social media evidence showing that the man she was married to is also apparently related to these sisters and is the son of this same man. So there is some evidence out there that raises a lot of questions about whether or not she was in fact married to her brother. And I think this deserves deeper investigation to see exactly what the relation there is. There's evidence that she might have lied about how long she's known this man. He apparently went to high school in the US, even though he was from London. The whole thing is very weird, very fishy, and there's a lot to dig through. I suggest you guys do it because it's too much to really get into on this podcast. But the media downplaying this as a conspiracy theory or some far-right, QAnon crazy thing that we should just dismiss out of hand, I don't think is accurate. And in fact, the Star Tribune in Minnesota did their own report, and they were unable, in fact, to reach a conclusion as to whether or not this man Ilhan Omar was married to was her brother. The Washington Examiner has uncovered some documents as well. So there's plenty of stuff to dig through here, and we should avoid the media trying to tell us that this is not worth investigating.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans, and the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
Every single person who is in this country, who's aspiring to become part of the American fabric, understands that nothing this president says should be taken apart. We are Americans as much as everyone else. This is our country, and we are where we belong. And as much as he's spewing his fascist ideology on stage, telling you as citizens to go back because they don't agree with his detrimental policies for our country, we tell people that here in the United States, dissent is patriotic. Here in the United States, disagreement is welcome, debate is welcome, and this this president does not speak for them.
What is the story of Ilhan Omar? Ilhan Omar was in a Kenyan refugee camp because Somalia is not a stable country. Somalia is not a model country. Somalia is a mess. Remember Black Hawk Down? Somali pirates? Somalia is not a model for any country. Now remember, Ilhan Omar's father worked in the government of a Somali dictator. So Ilhan Omar is in a Kenyan refugee camp. And we have big hearts as Americans, don't we? We're very generous and charitable people. We are the most generous and philanthropic and open-minded individuals on the planet. And as same thing that's happening on the southern border, our generosity, our charity is used against us. We bring Ilhan Omar into our country alongside hundreds of thousands of other Somalians. Remember, invade the world, invite the world. And Ilhan Omar had some very suspicious activity with her brother and marital certificates. We're not going to get too deep into that, but it's awfully suspicious. And remember, it's the same congressman who went viral a couple years ago when describing the 9/11 attack by saying it's just some people who did something. She comes to America, gets educated in our schools, educated in our university system, ascends to Congress to then relentlessly insult our country. She talks about racism and homophobia and misogyny, every left-wing anti-American talking point of somebody we invited into our country. And instead of assimilating, instead of learning, first of all, our customs, our practices. Yes, she does speak English, but she's not speaking English in this particular speech. Instead of saying, wow, I'm a guest in America and I'm going to become a citizen, maybe I should learn something. Maybe there's a reason why Somalia is in a rather crappy position and America is a great country. Why is that? Why is Somalia a third world hellhole and America is a pretty nice country? And by the way, Somalia is objectively a mess. That's not a racist thing. That's not a bigoted thing. Somalia literally has been torn apart in soft civil war for multiple decades. Don't take my word for it. Look at any objectively analysis. Somalia is one of the most dysfunctional places on planet Earth. And yet Ilhan Omar, she wants to make America more like Somalia. She should be counting her blessings that she's here. She is a perfect embodiment of the ingratitude of now the third world foreigner left-wing insurgency within the United States Congress. Ilhan Omar could say, boy, I'm just blown away that I get to live in this country. Maybe I should learn something. No, instead, she comes in full speed, talking about dual loyalty. Let's be perfectly clear. Ilhan Omar never should have been allowed to serve in the U.S. Congress. She speaks like a sleeper cell. People need to learn what a sleeper cell is. She should be denaturalized and she should be deported back to where she came from.
That's all for today. Thank you. If you want global news to keep you up to date on any new developments, please subscribe our channel and forward our content with your friends on social media and email. Thank you very much for keep supporting me. Stay safe, be blessed. Namaste.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.